In the vast emptiness of space, humanity's greatest experiment begins. A team of pioneers sent to a distant planet, tasked with creating a new home for Earth. But as the stars fade into silence, cracks begin to form, not in the hull of their station, but within their minds. What happens when isolation becomes unbearable? When every decision could mean life or death? When trust itself feels like a relic of the past? This is a story about survival, not just against the unforgiving void of space, but against the darkness that lives within us all. If you're ready to journey beyond the edge of human endurance, stay tuned. And don't forget to subscribe because this saga will leave you questioning what it truly means to be alone. The starship, EOS, had been traveling through the cold expanse of interstellar space for nearly 3 years before it reached its destination. Its mission was ambitious: a colony on Kepler 438b, a planet deemed habitable after decades of observation. The crew consisted of 6 individuals carefully selected not only for their expertise, but also for their psychological resilience. They were scientists, engineers, biologists, and medics, each carrying the hopes of billions back on Earth. Yet no amount of preparation could shield them from the reality they now faced: complete isolation. As the ship entered orbit, the planet below revealed itself in breathtaking detail. Swirling violet clouds obscured patches of land covered in luminescent flora, while twin moons hung low in the sky. It was beautiful, yes, but there was something unsettling about its perfection, as though nature itself conspired to keep intruders at bay. For weeks, the team worked tirelessly to establish contact with the surface, deploying drones and conducting atmospheric analyses. Every step forward felt monumental, yet overshadowed by the creeping sense of unease that grew stronger with each passing day. The enormity of their task began to weigh heavily on them, manifesting in sleepless nights and strained interactions. None dared speak of it openly, but the seeds of doubt had already taken root. Life aboard the orbital station quickly settled into a monotonous rhythm. Days blurred together under artificial lighting, marked only by shifts in work schedules and meals consumed in silence. The station itself was a marvel of engineering, designed to sustain human life indefinitely. Yet its sterile corridors and utilitarian design offered little comfort. Each member of the crew retreated into their own routines, finding solace in solitude rather than companionship. Dr. Elena Vasquez, the mission's lead biologist, spent hours cataloging samples collected from the planet's surface. Her meticulous notes filled page after page, yet she often found herself staring blankly at her data, unable to focus. Across the station, Commander Marcus Hale reviewed operational logs with mechanical precision, his mind elsewhere. He couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, not by any external force, but by the very environment they sought to conquer. Even mundane tasks became fraught with tension. Simple disagreements over resource allocation escalated into heated debates, though words remained unspoken. The air seemed thick with unvoiced fears, and the walls of the station closed in tighter with each passing week. It started subtly: a misplaced tool here, a flickering light there. At first, these incidents were dismissed as minor inconveniences, the result of equipment fatigue or human error. But as they accumulated, patterns emerged that defied explanation. Tools vanished only to reappear days later in entirely different locations. Lights dimmed without warning, plunging sections of the station into darkness. Sensors recorded fluctuations in temperature and pressure that contradicted known environmental conditions. These anomalies gnawed at the crew's already fragile nerves. Speculation ran rampant, though none dared voice their suspicions aloud. Was it sabotage? Or something more sinister? Engineer Priya Patel devoted countless hours to investigating the malfunctions, her technical expertise unmatched. Yet even she struggled to find logical explanations. Theories circulated silently among the crew, whispered during late-night shifts or exchanged through fleeting glances. Some clung to rationality, attributing everything to stress-induced paranoia. Others weren't so sure. Whatever the cause, the growing uncertainty fractured what little unity remained, leaving behind a palpable sense of distrust. The psychological toll of isolation became impossible to ignore. Sleep disturbances plagued the crew, nightmares haunting their restless minds. Dreams of suffocation, of endless voids stretching endlessly, left them waking in cold sweats. Psychologist Dr. Liam Chen monitored their mental states closely, noting alarming trends in his observations. Anxiety levels soared, and irritability spiked. Conversations dwindled to terse exchanges, if they occurred at all. Meals were eaten separately, each person retreating to their quarters rather than facing the strained dynamics of communal dining. Even recreation periods, once a brief reprieve from the monotony, devolved into solitary pursuits. Books went unread, music unheard. The weight of their situation pressed down on them, heavier with each passing day. Attempts to address the issue met with resistance. Group therapy sessions organized by Dr. Chen were poorly attended, and those who did participate offered little more than forced smiles and hollow reassurances. Beneath the surface, resentment simmered, threatening to boil over at any moment. The bonds that had once held them together began to fray, worn thin by the relentless grind of their existence. Amidst the chaos, one event stood out, a discovery that momentarily united the fractured crew. While analyzing soil samples from the planet's surface, Dr. Vasquez identified traces of microbial life. It was microscopic, primitive, but undeniably alive. News of the find spread quickly, injecting a rare burst of excitement into the otherwise bleak atmosphere. For a brief time, the station buzzed with energy as everyone rallied around the implications of the discovery. Could this mean the planet was capable of supporting larger forms of life? Was colonization truly possible? Hope flickered briefly, casting light on faces long shadowed by despair. Yet even this triumph carried undertones of unease. The microbes exhibited unusual properties, adapting rapidly to changes in their environment. Some members of the crew viewed them as a potential threat, questioning whether introducing such organisms to the station posed risks. Others saw them as a sign of promise, proof that life could thrive even in the harshest conditions. The debate reignited old tensions, dividing the group once again. Still, the discovery served as a reminder of why they had come: to explore, to learn, to push the boundaries of human knowledge. For a fleeting moment, they remembered what it meant to dream. As weeks turned into months, the planet below continued to exert its influence. Strange phenomena plagued both the station and the surface operations. Equipment failures multiplied, forcing the crew to rely increasingly on manual labor. Communication delays between the station and ground teams grew erratic, sometimes lasting minutes, other times hours. Tempers flared as frustration mounted. Supplies dwindled faster than anticipated, exacerbated by unforeseen complications in resource management. Rationing measures were implemented, further straining morale. Yet amidst the turmoil, individual coping mechanisms began to emerge. Dr. Vasquez immersed herself deeper into her research, seeking solace in the mysteries of alien biology. Commander Hale doubled down on his duties, channeling his anxiety into meticulous planning and oversight. Others turned inward, finding refuge in personal rituals or creative outlets. Despite these efforts, the cracks within the group widened. Trust eroded, replaced by suspicion and fear. Small gestures, lingering stares, hesitant movements spoke volumes where words failed. The station, once a symbol of progress, now felt like a prison, its confines suffocating. One fateful evening, an incident occurred that shattered what little cohesion remained. During a routine maintenance check, Engineer Patel discovered evidence suggesting deliberate tampering with critical systems. Wires had been cut, circuits rerouted. The damage was subtle enough to evade detection until it was too late. Accusations flew instantly, suspicion falling on whoever happened to be nearby at the time. Fingers pointed, tempers flared, and voices rose to shouts. The argument spiraled out of control, culminating in physical confrontation. Commander Hale intervened, restoring order through sheer force of authority. Yet the damage was done. Bonds snapped irreparably, leaving behind a fractured collective teetering on the brink of collapse. In the aftermath, guilt weighed heavily on everyone involved. Apologies were muttered, half-hearted attempts at reconciliation made. But the wounds ran deep, festering beneath the surface. From that point onward, interactions became guarded, tinged with paranoia. No one knew whom to trust anymore, not even themselves. Desperation drove innovation. Facing dwindling resources and mounting challenges, the crew devised unconventional solutions to survive. Salvaging parts from decommissioned modules, they constructed makeshift tools and equipment. Ingenuity blossomed in unexpected ways, born of necessity rather than choice. Hydroponic gardens expanded, supplementing dwindling food stores with nutrient-rich plants cultivated under artificial lights. Solar panels were repositioned to maximize efficiency, capturing every photon of sunlight filtering through the planet's dense atmosphere. These achievements, however small, provided a semblance of control in an otherwise chaotic existence. Progress, no matter how incremental, offered hope. Yet even these victories came at a cost. Long hours spent improvising repairs left little room for rest, exacerbating existing fatigue. Stress levels soared, pushing some to their limits. Burnout loomed large, threatening to undo the fragile stability they had managed to achieve. Still, they pressed on, driven by the unyielding determination to endure. Isolation bred introspection. Alone in their quarters, each crew member grappled with their inner demons. Memories surfaced, faces of loved ones left behind, voices echoing faintly in the recesses of their minds. Regret mingled with longing, creating a toxic cocktail of emotions. Questions lingered unanswered. Had they made the right decision? Would anyone remember them if they failed? These thoughts consumed them, gnawing away at their resolve. Meditation practices introduced by Dr. Chun helped some find temporary peace, focusing on breathing exercises and mindfulness techniques. Others sought escape in dreams, surrendering to fantasies of returning home. Yet reality always returned, harsh and unrelenting. The planet outside their windows served as a constant reminder of their predicament. Beautiful yet alien, it beckoned with promises of discovery while simultaneously repelling with its indifference. Humanity's insignificance in the grand scheme of the universe never felt so stark. A breakthrough arrived unexpectedly, altering the course of their mission. While conducting experiments on the mysterious microbes, Dr. Vasquez stumbled upon a startling revelation. The organisms possessed the ability to metabolize certain compounds found abundantly on the planet, producing oxygen as a byproduct. If harnessed correctly, this process could revolutionize their survival strategy. Excitement rippled through the crew, reigniting a spark of optimism. Plans were drawn up, resources allocated, and prototypes built. Collaboration replaced conflict, uniting them in pursuit of a common goal. For the first time in months, laughter echoed through the station's corridors. Success seemed within reach, tantalizingly close. Yet doubts lingered. Could they truly overcome the obstacles ahead? Or would another setback shatter their newfound momentum? Only time would tell. Implementation proved challenging. Building the infrastructure required to harness the microbes' capabilities demanded immense effort and coordination. Mistakes were inevitable, setbacks frequent. Yet the crew persevered, buoyed by renewed purpose. Engineers worked tirelessly alongside biologists, combining disciplines in innovative ways. Challenges transformed into opportunities for growth, strengthening their resolve. Slowly but surely, results began to show. Oxygen levels stabilized, easing concerns about breathable air. Food production increased, alleviating fears of starvation. Each milestone brought them closer to sustainability, reinforcing their belief in the mission's viability. Bonds formed anew, forged in shared adversity. Though scars remained from past conflicts, mutual respect began to flourish. Unity, once thought lost, returned in fragments, pieced together through hard-won victories. Nature, however, refused to yield easily. Just as progress seemed assured, disaster struck. A violent storm swept across the planet's surface, wreaking havoc on ground operations. Winds howled with ferocious intensity, tearing apart installations and scattering equipment. Communication links faltered, plunging the crew into uncertainty. Panic gripped the station as updates trickled in sporadically, painting a grim picture of devastation below. Rescue missions were impossible. The tempest showed no signs of abating. Helplessness descended like a suffocating blanket, choking off hope. Yet amidst the chaos, resilience emerged. Ground teams banded together, braving the elements to salvage what they could. Above, the orbital station mobilized every available resource to support recovery efforts. Against overwhelming odds, they fought back, refusing to surrender to despair. Survival depended not on individual strength, but on collective perseverance. Rebuilding tested their limits. Damaged structures required extensive repairs, consuming precious materials and manpower. Morale dipped dangerously low as exhaustion set in. Yet amidst the wreckage, lessons were learned. Weaknesses exposed by the storm prompted improvements in design and implementation. Reinforced shelters replaced flimsy constructs, better equipped to withstand future calamities. Redundancies were added to critical systems, ensuring continuity in emergencies. These enhancements bolstered confidence, instilling a renewed sense of security. Gradually, normalcy returned, albeit altered by recent events. Relationships deepened, forged in the crucible of shared struggle. Old grievances faded, overshadowed by mutual reliance. Though scars remained, they served as reminders of battles won, symbols of endurance etched into memory. Reflection brought clarity. Looking back, the crew recognized the journey's true significance. Beyond scientific achievements lay personal transformations, growth born of adversity, wisdom earned through hardship. They understood now that success wasn't merely about surviving, but thriving despite insurmountable odds. Each challenge faced, each obstacle overcome, contributed to their evolution. Humanity's reach extended farther than ever before, touching distant worlds and reshaping perceptions of possibility. Pride swelled within them, tempered by humility. They realized they weren't alone, not truly. Countless others had paved the way, sacrificed dreams, and laid foundations upon which they stood. Gratitude welled up, directed not outward but inward, toward themselves and their comrades. Together, they had defied the void, carving out a niche amidst the stars. As the mission neared its conclusion, preparations began for the next phase. Contact with Earth resumed, tentative at first, then steady. Updates flowed freely, detailing triumphs and tribulations alike. Recognition awaited them, accolades celebrating their contributions to human history. Yet none sought glory. Their reward lay in knowing they had pushed boundaries, expanded horizons, and proven that even in the darkest depths of space, hope endured. Farewells approached, tinged with bittersweet emotion. Bonds formed over years would soon dissolve, memories preserved in journals and photographs. Partings promised reunions, though distance ensured uncertainty. As engines roared to life, propelling them homeward, eyes turned skyward. Stars twinkled brightly, inviting exploration. Somewhere among them lay new frontiers, waiting to be claimed. Until then, their legacy stood firm, a testament to courage, resilience, and the indomitable spirit of discovery. And if you enjoyed this epic tale of survival and sacrifice, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more thrilling adventures among the cosmos.